Thor versus Doomsday. Thor has made quite a name for himself battling monsters and villains in Marvel, but what's going to happen when he goes up against the toughest monster in all of DC? The one villain who was able to kill Superman. Who's going to be coming out on top here? Really, is it even going to be close? Let's get into it. Doomsday is essentially the living embodiment of death. Darkseid himself called him death personified. And with accolades like that, you gotta be impressive. And Doomsday really is. Superman said that Doomsday could rip the planet in half if he really wanted to. And man, he's sent Supergirl flying. He's knocked around Wonder Woman. He's overpowered both Orion and Martian Manhunter. John said that he'd never been hit as hard as he's been hit by Doomsday. He's even taken down the whole Justice League before. I mean, Doomsday has trounced the League all by himself. And there have been all his fights against Superman. He's punched Superman like he's never been hit before. He can hit harder than anybody else Superman has fought. And Doomsday just continues to get stronger and stronger as they fight. I mean, there was a reason why they created this guy back in the 90s in the comics. It was literally to kill Superman, to be stronger, to be more powerful than Superman. And man, has he shown that over the years. He might have even shown that he's more powerful than Superman's ultimate villain, Darkseid. He fought against Darkseid, overpowered Darkseid, beat Darkseid all up, just trashed the guy and left him for dead. Like literally on the verge of death, where he could barely stand, and Superman had to step in and save the guy's life. That's how bad Doomsday beat Darkseid, the Lord of Apocalypse, the guy who's beat Superman with just 2 punches before. Yeah, Doomsday is no joke. But also, I would really take Doomsday legitimately beating Darkseid with a big hunk of salt. That doesn't seem right at all. Basically though, Doomsday has done a lot of impressive stuff. There was even a time where he plowed through many different versions of Gog, who were able to fight against members of the Justice Society and defeat Kingdom Come Superman. And he's torn through countless different Imperiex probes, where just one probe was enough to give Superman a run for his money. And Doomsday is really just as tough too. He's taken attacks from Wonder Woman, from Martian Manhunter, from a lot of Kryptonians, from Superman himself. He's taken punches from Superman before, where Clark said he was hitting him with everything he's got. He's taken thousands of punches from Superman all in an instant. He's been sent flying around and landing all over the place by Superman on just a semi-regular basis, and Doomsday just consistently refuses to go down. He's also taken Superman's heat vision, blast from Green Lantern, Orion's energy beams. A Guardian of the Universe went full-on kamikaze on him, and it just barely put Doomsday out. He came back a little while later. Even Darkseid's Omega beams were enough to put Doomsday down for like maybe a few seconds. He was back up almost instantly. And of course, here's the real kicker. Doomsday quite literally cannot be killed. He can't be permanently put down. He's always going to keep on coming back. No matter what you throw at him, no matter what you send his way, you can even straight up kill him. Doomsday is still going to keep on coming back. Doomsday has literally evolved past death. Thor, Odin's son, is the Asgardian god of thunder, a founding member of the Avengers, and the son of Odin, the All-Father of Asgard, and Gaia, the Elder Earth goddess. Combining the power of both worlds and armed with his powerful enchanted hammer Mjolnir, Thor is arguably the greatest and mightiest defender of both. Now, Thor has always been an insanely powerful god and hero, one of the mightiest Avengers, with his only real rivals being someone like the Hulk or Sentry. Thor has consistently been one of the strongest heroes in Marvel, able to shatter mountains or even planets with each punch he throws, or every time he swings Mjolnir around. He's threatened to knock the Earth out of orbit as he was arm wrestling against Hercules. He's managed to pick up and lift the Midgard serpent, a snake who is way bigger than the Earth. He's overpowered the crushing force of 20 different planets, and then in one of the best strength feats in all of comics, Thor managed to overpower the World Engine. It was a machine that was built into the very core of Yggdrasil, possessing the tree's full might. And in case you don't know, Yggdrasil is this hyper construct that supports all the 9 realms, which are actually confirmed to be distinct and separate space-time universes. So that's crazy. And funny enough, it's not the only time that Thor has messed around with Yggdrasil before. When he was just a baby, he managed to shake every branch in the tree and every realm in the branches with just his cries. He's shattered Yggdrasil's roots before, and he's been able to overpower and defeat Mythos, a being who wielded the full power of the tree. So yeah, Thor is somehow comfortably universal in strength just by doing stuff like this. He's also very tough. Like, for as strong as Thor is, he's equally just as durable. He's regularly been able to take punches from all sorts of villains who are strong enough to destroy planets with their attacks, take them all and keep on going. And that's not even mentioning all the times where he's straight up survived planets being destroyed either, or been able to casually survive inside the core of stars, survive energy blasts that can easily blow up whole planets, even attacks that manage to kill pretty much every other tough hero out there, while Thor is the last one standing. And of course, none of that is really counting him being immune to matter manipulation, time manipulation, different forms of magic, holding back against soul manipulation or telepathy. Like I said, Thor is very tough. And if Thor ever is injured, well, that doesn't mean he's out of the fight. He's able to fight while missing major body parts or vital organs. He's able to endure through pretty much any injury he receives, and even just his stamina is crazy. He could fight Hulk for a century or battle against Zeus for months on end. And then, of course, you can't really talk about Thor without talking about his lightning and Mjolnir. Thor definitely knows how to throw that hammer. He's been able to injure everyone from Hulk to Mangog to even Superman with just one swing of the hammer. But while it's definitely effective at just smashing things, that's not the only thing Mjolnir can do. It can launch out powerful energy blasts, powerful enough to launch an enemy from Earth into the core of the sun. It can also absorb energy, like absorbing attacks from Thanos, or even energy equivalent to a star. It can open up different portals through space, or even allow Thor to teleport himself and others to different realms throughout the world tree. And of course, there's the lightning. He's been able to launch out lightning powerful enough to destroy moons or planets. And along with that, well, he's been able to summon rains and wind and storms that have threatened to destroy planets before too. But here's the thing, as if all of this wasn't enough, well, Thor's gotten a few massive power upgrades recently. Like, for as powerful as he was before, and for as powerful as he's always been, he's on a whole other level now. Like, for starters, Thor has the Odin Force now, and all the powers of Odin that come along with it. And he is significantly stronger and more powerful now, to the point where he's casually injuring and beating villains who he's really struggled with in the past. Like, not just knocking around one of the strongest versions of the Hulk ever, but he's knocking around Odin and Thanos. he's definitely stronger than he was before. Heck, he was the only one who was able to rival Null with his strength, who had literally just ripped the Sentry in half. Thor's also definitely a whole lot tougher, able to take some of the most devastating attacks that you've ever seen and keep on going. But the biggest thing for Thor right now is just all the power-ups and amps that he's gotten along the way. It's frankly ridiculous. Like outside of the Odin Force, well, Thor also has access to the Phoenix Force now too. So that's crazy. He managed to drain the power of Galactus, so he may or may not still have access to the power cosmic. And on top of that, he's drained the power of Zeus and has all of his power now too. Basically, Thor is on an absolute tear. He's arguably more powerful than he's ever been before. So who wins? Well, let's break it down. Now, Thor is no stranger to fighting against monstrous, super strong, super tough, super angry beings. His fights with Hulk are legendary. He's got his own villain in Mangog, who's quite literally the God Killer, but Doomsday is still something else altogether. I mean, this is Doomsday we're talking about. Doomsday. This guy is on par with Superman in the Justice League. And considering that scaling in DC Comics is crazy, of course he's powerful. I mean, just look at his fights against Superman. And Superman is a totally broken character. He's shattered timelines and broken the boundaries of space-time during some of his fights. He's actually even said before that concepts like weight or even space-time have lost all their meaning to him. He's pushed apart whole realities, he's shook the whole Phantom Zone and infinite, limitless, and endless universe, and even said that he could destroy it altogether. This is the guy that Doomsday is able to fight against and beat. And it's not just Superman. He's also beaten Darkseid before in a fight. He's even punched his way out of the Phantom Zone, which is just totally broken because the Phantom Zone is a dimension without dimensions and can exist in several different layers of reality. And Doomsday just punched his way out of it. Absolutely crazy. And Doomsday is still just getting more and more powerful. He's a living engine of destruction, a universal constant that can't truly be destroyed, only changed. And the problem is, each change makes Doomsday stronger and stronger. With each death, well, Doomsday evolves, it just gets more and more powerful, becoming completely immune to what killed him in the past along the way. With all the deaths he's been through, well, he's very, very powerful. Like he straight up evolved the ability to teleport through the Phantom Zone now, so that definitely makes him harder to beat. He's evolved the ability to breathe hellfire. He's even evolved a kill radius around him, just a death spear that's pretty much instantly killing anything that gets too close. Heck, Doomsday even evolved to becoming the King of Hell. And while being the King of Hell, well, he was able to just straight up make Hell his playground. The first of the Fallen was terrified of him. Martian Manhunter and Supergirl tried to stand up against him, and he was just rocking them with his attacks, even though Supergirl was fighting in an armor that was meant to fight against the Presence. But of course, there is a catch. Hell is a belief-based realm. If enough people believed that Doomsday could do something, well, he could then do it. That's how it worked. Belief is what made Doomsday this strong. And then when that belief was turned against him by Martian Manhunter, well, he was left trapped in Hell. and when Doomsday eventually made his way out, well, he was beaten by Superman, just like normal. Of course, Doomsday breaking out of hell is still very impressive, just as impressive as him breaking out of the Phantom Zone, because it means that he was overpowering the power of belief with just his fists and raw punches. But for as powerful as Doomsday is and has been getting, Thor should still have him beat. Like, kinda easily. Even if you just take into account that he's got the Odin Force now, well, that's enough. He's got all the same powers and abilities as Odin, a guy who can have multiversal fights, beat up Thanos, and stand his own against Galactus. Even just a small glimpse of this power was him being able to throw Mjolnir through all the realms before one-shotting a monster that was currently trashing the Avengers. He's been able to battle against Dark Phoenix, and Null, and Thanos, and Galactus, and basically do whatever he wants. And then he's got the Power Cosmic, which helped him to be able to mess up the Black Winter, Galactus' boss, and a multiversal threat to all existence. And then he's got the Phoenix Force now too, which helped him hold back the first firmament, which was threatening to erase all existence in an omniversal wave of destruction. Then he added on to the power of Odin with another Skyfather, the power of Zeus. Thor is just on a whole other level than pretty much every hero or villain around him, to the point where people who used to be a serious threat to him just no longer are, and that should include Doomsday. Thor wins here, and it's not even close.